Welcome back. Still tuned in to Salam Media with me, Salailo Makwidiri, on News and Views. And we're going to be, taking a look at a very, very interesting topic right now. I think it was a watershed moment, a few months ago when South Africa presented a case at the ICJ against the Israeli government for violating its obligations under the Genocide Convention in its war on the Gaza Strip. And there were, a lot of countries that came out in support of South Africa, but not many were prepared to join the case filed by South Africa against Israel. And we just heard news that Egypt says it will formally join the case filed by South Africa against Israel at the ICJ. And this comes from the Egyptian Ministry of Foreign Affairs on Sunday. And they mentioned that Cairo intended to join the case due to escalating Israeli aggression against Palestinian civilians. And to chat to us more about this is Salma Ashraf. She's coming to us from London. She's the Director of Human Rights Monitor. Salma, welcome to Salam Media. Jazakallah so much for giving us your time. If you can, just break it down for us, this very, very important decision taken by the Egyptian government, to partner up, to join South Africa in the ICJ on that, Genocide Convention contravening case against Israel and the motivation behind it.
Thank you for having me, first of all. And if we are to speak about Egypt joining now, or saying that it has the intention to join, it's a bit too late, because it's been more than 7 months now, and of the genocide, of ongoing daily massacres taking place. And Egypt is not of our place. It's actually a neighboring country that has moral as well as legal obligations towards the Palestinian people due to even the historical events that we shared. We are one people, we're one nation. And so Egypt had an obligation from very long time ago, since the 7th of October, to take a serious stance, to do something to stop the genocide and the daily massacres from happening. But it's actually very late to say something like that. And I believe it's only aimed at saving itself from the embarrassment, and also, as so many people are now condemning the stance of Egypt in particular. It tries to avoid embarrassment, and it's also trying to comply with the streets view, trying to avoid the popular uproar. I believe it's like that, but I don't think that Egypt will actually take anything serious or take any serious measures, because if it wanted to do that, it would have done that long time ago, and it would have taken serious steps. I mean, until now, relations with Israel are continuous. They're maintaining it. There is no severing of diplomatic relationships or economic. There is nothing. On the contrary, Egypt is supporting Israel. It is coordinating everything with Israel. It's not standing with the people of Palestine at all. In fact, since the beginning of the war on the 7th, following the 7th of October, the Egyptian president, he said that these massacres or whatever is going in Egypt is none of Egypt's concern. What he cares about is refugees not flowing to Egypt. But you see the situation. They are completely, the Egyptian government is completely complying with Israel's wishes. It's allowing land assistance. It's allowing arm flows. It's allowing everything that could be used against the people in Gaza, that could utilize the daily massacres that are taking place. So I don't believe that they have a real intention to do something that would be against Israel.
And I think you make very, very, very valid points here. Regarding Egypt's relationship with Israel and how it's still very much cordial, even though there's a whole genocide happening there. We seem to have lost Salma for a bit. Yes, she's back. Salma, before you went away, we'll talk about the relationship between Egypt and Israel and how it's very, very cordial. You don't think maybe this move and Egypt's involvement in this case will have, I don't know, some kind of implication, regarding the relationship that Israel, enjoys with Egypt? Will it influence it negatively in any way? Or, as you said, it's just paying lip service and just making sure that the masses, the people of Egypt, don't go out to the streets and protest and seek action from a very, from what should be a very close friend of Egypt, should be a close ally, should be family, which are the Palestinians.
Yeah, so I believe that this is just lip service, and it's not real action. It's just formalities and trying to calm the street, especially after the control of Rafah crossing. So now the Egyptians are feeling that it's not only these crimes are not only happening in Gaza, but the Israelis are moving towards Egypt, are taking control over the Rafah crossing. In fact, the Israeli flag was raised in Rafah, and the Egyptians, they said that this is actually, don't speak about this because it causes us embarrassment, but they did not take any action. The Israeli occupation forces have deployed their ground forces in Rafah, and the Egyptians did not do anything about it. When I say Egyptians, I mean the government.
Mm.
It did not take any action. So they are bit by bit occupying Egypt, in fact. But and this is causing popular anger. People are protesting, and this actually the continuous killing and the lack of accountability and the complete silence and weakness of the Egyptian government had led the people, the normal people, to take to the street and try to take action against that by, for example, killing Israeli tourists, which is
Mm.
very dangerous because now it's if things went out of control, if the governments are not taking action, then it's an inevitable war would take place in the region actually, and so I don't see that anything serious is being taken, but I believe that this statement is just to avoid the protest and the uproar.
And you speak of the Egyptian populace and just how passionate they are. When it comes to their support for Gaza, for the people of Palestine. And I want to chat. I want you maybe to, if you can unpack for us, just how this announcement by the Egyptian Ministry of Foreign Affairs was received by the general Egyptian public. Was it appreciated, or as you mentioned, it was seen as a way of the government to try and to shut them up, and so there's no mass action on the streets of Egypt? Is it something that's appreciated? Are they applauding it, or they are seeing it for what you say it is, just a ploy to keep them quiet?
Yeah, no, I think the Egyptian people are very intelligent and they are aware of the government's action. I mean, it's too late that they would take action now. If you wanted to take action, you would take it at the start and not after 7, 8 months after
Mm.
so many people have been killed and after people in Egypt have been calling for action since so long. So this is not appreciated actually. I think people are aware that this is something to just save the Egyptian government embarrassment, as this will also be historically recorded. So Egypt wants to say that it did something. It plays a double role. It wants
Mm.
to say we are against this, we condemn this, and we will take action. And on the other hand, they're coordinating everything with the Israeli government. So, for example, closing the Rafah crossing, not allowing any kind of aid. In particular, Egypt is contributing to this war by closing the crossing and causing people to die of thirst and hunger and not allowing the sick to leave Egypt for treatment. It's it's participating very strongly in the war against the people in Gaza. So it's not helping at all. It's on the contrary. It's helping Israel in all its aims to annihilate the people of Gaza.
And just one last question before I let you go. Are there any steps or actions, taken by activists, taken by, organizations like yourselves, to try and put pressure on the Egyptian government to do a bit more, in how they're reacting, to the atrocities and the humanitarian crisis that is induced by Israeli occupying forces in Gaza? Because, for example, here in South Africa, our government for the longest of time would just release statements, would just, talk until the people went out to the streets and said, you need to do more. You need to present a case to the ICJ. You need to sever ties, with the Israeli government. You need to downgrade the embassy of Israel here in South Africa, which are all of the demands that were made by people and the government adhered to them. Is there something similar happening in Egypt where pressure is being put on government to act accordingly, with their reactions to what's currently happening in Palestine?
So there is a difference between Egypt and South Africa. People in Egypt are already oppressed and they are suffering from a dictatorship. They're living in a dictatorship. So organizations like ourselves cannot call on people to go to the streets because they would be arrested. I mean, they're arrested for their normal stances without even going to protest or anything. And those who try to protest are also taken to prisons. And so we cannot encourage people to go to the street. However, people are very angry because they have neighboring relationships. That we are one family with the Palestinians. We have long history with them. So people they do not need anyone to motivate them to take to the streets or to take action. But as organizations, what we can do is we work with the United Nations. We work with other organizations that could put pressure on the government, like submit documented cases of the killing of children and women and men, destructions of homes, all kinds of human rights violations. That's what we can do. So we pressure through submitting these things that could be discussed at the United Nations and the ICJ or any kind of international organization that can actually put pressure. We can also we also speak with the diplomatic representatives at the United Nations of States to raise these questions and to request answers from the government and to the Israeli government, and to make them comply with the resolutions, either whether issued from the UN or the ones from the ICJ.
No, I think we're going to leave it there, Salma. Thank you so much for giving us your time and, just shedding light on that decision by the Egyptian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And, because here in South Africa, when we heard the news, we we're pretty excited, saying, we're going to have another country, another partner, that's going to help us in making sure that Israel, is put to justice. But as you say, it's not as things seem, and this might just be a ploy to make sure that Egypt at the end of the day can say we did something, when in reality they haven't done anything. So really, really appreciate that. And Jazakallah for giving us your time. I'm going to let you go for now.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was Salma Ashraf coming to us live from London. They just, painting a picture that was a bit unexpected. Well, expected in a way. Just, just understanding just the close proximity that Egypt has to Palestine and just how much more they could have done, because they share a border with the Palestinian people. Why are they not letting refugees in? Why are they not letting, humanitarian aid into the Rafah crossing? And why are they working, organized with the Israeli government in making sure that the people of Palestine, the people of Gaza, people that are in Rafah are still oppressed as they are now. So very, very interesting conversation there. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, tune in to more with Miss Laila Makwidir on News and Views here on Salam Media.